Jaguars Happy Hour is brought to you by the St. Johns River Water Management District. And now, a guy who believes Bangers and Mash is a new morning show on BBC4, J.P. Shadrick.
And welcome in. It is Jaguars Happy Hour. It is Thursday, and the Jaguars have Week 5 coming up this Sunday at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The Jaguars and the Buffalo Bills. A busy 2 hours ahead of the program. We'll preview that game, of course. Josh Allen Bowl 2 coming up this Sunday. Cam Robinson back to practice. We'll get Tony's thoughts on that. Then the Doug Peterson Show at 5 o'clock. That's on the Jaguars Radio Network. I caught up with the Jaguars head coach earlier today. We'll hear from him in the 6 o'clock hour here in London. What was that, 5 o'clock back home in Jacksonville. The Jaguars Happy Hour is brought to you by the St. Johns River Water Management District. Florida's water, it's worth saving. J.P. Shadrick, Jeff Lageman, as always on Thursdays. Tony Boselli, Hall of Famer, is with us tonight.
It's a reunion. It's like the old days when I used to do Thursdays.
I know. And very special guest, Asher Grodman, CBS Ghosts the Show, here with us tonight.
It's not just a show. It's the leading comedy on TV.
Oh, wait a minute. You're out of work. What are you talking about?
Well, that's true. He's striking.
That's why
I don't believe in striking.
Show, but Tony can.
He's donating his time tonight for like 3 hours. We're going to make him work tonight.
He's hanging out with us because he needed the check.
That's right. That's right. I had to fill this time somehow, and this is the one job that I will do for free.
We're glad to have you here. Here we go. Jaguars, Bills coming up this Sunday. Logs, Josh Allen Bowl 2. Josh Allen Bowl number 1 a couple years ago with the Jaguars way 9-6. Seems like eons ago now, but it took the Jaguars, Josh Allen, having a career day at that time to get the Jaguars over the top.
That was by far his most dominant performance as a pro. I think he had multiple tackle for losses, interceptions, sacks. I mean, he was dominant.
Fumble recovery. Didn't he hit every big play metric you can?
Yeah, and he said after the game, "I'm the real Josh Allen." That's what happened.
Well, Josh Allen today, or I don't know if it was today or yesterday, because I get my time zones all mixed up.
Yesterday.
It was yesterday. Was asked about Josh Allen, our Josh Allen, and Josh Allen, their Josh Allen, said he scares me.
Which is impressive.
Yeah, it was good.
And what is it? It's like I think only like the third or fourth time in league history where you got two players of the same name playing in a game. It's kind of weird, right? I mean, you always have to kind of clarify. You know, you got to say Josh Allen the quarterback or Josh Allen the linebacker or edge, whatever you want to call it.
Is there another Asher Grodman out there somewhere?
There is not another Asher Grodman. It's a Google search that belongs to only me, and I'm glad for it.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Josh Allen Bowl Part 2?
What do I think is going to happen? You're going to
we want a prediction
on the spot.
We need an early lock.
This is the series regulars throwing the guest star under the bus.
I'm not saying I need a prediction. I'm saying what's your overall feeling of how it's, the flow and can Josh Allen, our Josh Allen, repeat what he did the last time?
I don't think he has to. Is my hot take, I guess. I think that if he can, if that's where the focus is, and he could open up some opportunities for Trayvon, I think that would be wonderful. And I do think this is a game where. First of all, I'm so glad that the most qualified football expert here is answering the first football question. So thank you
for
tossing it my
way. They hear from us all the time.
That's right. That's right. But I do think that this is kind of the game that if you're the Jaguars, you've, I think, been waiting for. You had a chance against the Chiefs to make a statement win. It didn't go the way you thought it was. There were opportunities. My God, there were opportunities. But I think now you have the advantage. You're in London. You've had time to acclimate. The Bills are coming off a big win, and if you win this game, all we're going to be talking about next week, well, we'll be talking about the Jaguars no matter what, but everyone else will be talking about the Jaguars.
Well, Buffalo's the hottest team in the league right now.
Oh, they're red
hot. Offensively, they've scored like 123 points in the last 3 games, and they're rolling.
Well, their defense is one of the best defenses in the league,
Number 2 in the league, I think, in points scored. I mean, they're tremendous. But what I'm really anxious to see, this is not a Jaguars home game, but it's at Tottenham Stadium, and the Jaguars have 10 years of being in London. But we know that the Bills Mafia, they travel.
They'll travel.
Oh, they travel. Yep. What will it look like on Sunday? You know, I mean, as far as in the stands, I mean, will it be teal? Will it be a balanced mix? Will it be predominant Buffalo Bills fans?
I'll promise you this: it won't be as hostile as it would have been if we're up in Orchard Park.
Oh, yes.
Playing up in Buffalo, and so I think it's a huge advantage because I think, Jeff, I mean, honestly, it's going to be more like I'm not going to say 50-50. I think it'll be, call it 40%
33, 33, 33,
yeah,
probably.
That's my point. That's the best way to say it. 33 Bills fans, 33% Jaguar fans, and then 33% of the other
League-wide.
30 teams.
That's right.
That are,
Every jersey you can imagine.
That's right.
We are at the Pavilion Inn Pub, Watling Street, London, in the shadow of St. Paul's Cathedral. If you're listening to us live on the Jags UK social channels, you can join us. We'll be here for 2 more hours. Then Jaguars All Access TV will be taped here right after that tonight. So 5 to 7 London time for the show's happy hour and the Doug Peterson Show. And then, about 7:30 or so, we'll have Jags All Access taped here as well. So come join us in the basement here at the Pavilion Inn Pub. We got a lot of Jaguar fans here tonight, right?
Yeah.
What a great crowd.
Are there any Bills fans here tonight? No Bills fans. We've taken over this place. That's what happens when the Jaguars come to town.
And we got some good food.
Yeah, so the sausage plate is back.
Yes.
The onion rings made a return. That was a popular hit here on Monday. What's your review of the sausage platter from Monday, Tony?
Well, I'll say this. It's good enough that I ordered it again tonight. That's how good it is.
We just need the mustard.
I'm waiting for the mustard.
The hottest mustard ever.
It's very good.
Is it good?
JP cried about it all Monday night. It's too hot. It's so hot.
It was hot. I mean, what do you want?
I thought it was
hot.
outstanding. It's great to be here. I mean, what a great atmosphere. It's good to have Asher here with us. And I actually, something, Asher, you said, I agree with 1,000%. This is a huge game. And it's funny, I was talking to somebody today back in the States who's not a Jaguar fan, and his comment to me was, man, I thought you guys were going to be better than you were or are. Like, the expectations were so high.
Yeah.
And I think most of, Jaguar Nation, I think NFL fans, the national media are kind of like, yeah, they're not bad, but they're not ready to be elite.
Yes.
And I think this is a game where you can change that narrative. We talked about changing the narrative, Jeff, last week against the Atlanta Falcons, and we won the game. It wasn't pretty offensively. I thought the defense played great. We covered that Monday. But this is an opportunity for the team to change the narrative nationally. It's like, okay, wait a second. They are who we thought they would be, quoting the great Dennis Green. And winning this game, I think, kind of gives them that boost to being back up in the upper echelon of the AFC.
Yes, I think that if you are, and this happens every year, if you are at Dallas and you beat up on some, let's say the Giants, well, then everyone's going to say, oh my God, it's Dallas. They're going to the Super Bowl. They're the greatest team ever. The Jaguars need an opponent like this to beat someone like this on a stage that people are going to see.
Well, everyone's going to be watching.
Everyone's going to be watching.
Only game on.
There you go.
Well, I think Dallas needs a game like that, too. There's a lot of
They got the 49ers.
I just mean that
that's their game this week.
Yes.
49ers.
Same exact kind of situation
I
where
agree.
The Dallas Cowboys have kind of floundered late in the season. Dak Prescott, can he handle it in the big moment? And here you go. The 49ers are arguably one of the most talented teams in the league, and some people think they're the front runners for the NFC.
I don't think that's a question.
They're the most talented team I've seen.
I got the mustard, guys.
Yeah, I saw that.
It came in. It's the hottest mustard on the planet. Jags fans want customized Jaguars furniture for your home. Check out zipchair.com and browse all customizable options. Zipchair, furniture for fans. We're on 1010XL, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube. This Jaguars Happy Hour coming up in a little bit, the Doug Peterson Show. That's in the second hour of the program tonight. All right, some guys back on the practice field trying to work their way back to health. Zay Jones has been out there a little bit. Jamal Agnew this week as well. Antonio Johnson getting some work on the practice field, the rookie safety. Curious to see how that trends as we move forward here. And, of course, the big news of the week is Cam Robinson is back on the practice field, coming off his 4-game suspension for the violation of the performance-enhancing drug policy. I mean, if they worked on this in the preseason with him at left tackle and Walker Little at left guard, it would makes sense that now that it's here, that they just implement the plan, right, Tony?
Well, a couple things. One, I think Zay Jones is huge, and I'm going to take 2 seconds there.
Yeah.
He is a big part of this offense. He has speed. He can stretch the field. And I think losing him changes kind of how you're able to attack the Buffalo Bills defense. So him being healthy, saw him on the field, saw some highlights, so hopefully he'll be ready to go. All signs, kind of point in that direction. Cam Robinson, he will play left tackle. I'll be shocked if he is not starting at left tackle, Walker Little at left guard, and I actually think it's a no-brainer. Now, he is going to have rust. He's not going to have he has not been doing anything football-wise as far as on the field. Hopefully he's been working out, staying in shape. But the reason I am so bullish, and I was not this way in training camp, I thought there was a little bit of a, coin toss of what you do because I felt like Walker Little would play good at left tackle. He has. He's been the best offensive lineman. Usually I'd be against it 100% of moving your best offensive lineman from that position that he's playing at a very good level, winning football level, and moving him somewhere else. But because our interior three, and Jeff, you and I have talked about this so much, have struggled. They have not been physical. The run game struggled last week. Yes, they were better in pass, but there was no pass rushers to deal with. I think you have to do it. Walker Little, he's your best offensive lineman, and he showed he can play left guard in the preseason. Small sample size, but you have to get your best five out there. Cam Robinson's one of your best five. It's something I can't believe I'm saying this adamantly, but I think you have to do it, and I think they will.
I'm going to take the other approach, and that Doug Peterson said at the beginning of the week, he said, we got to see it. And so can you gain enough trust in one day of padded practice to feel like that gives you your best offensive line with a guy that's been inactive for 4 games? And that's kind of a big leap of faith right there, to have trust in a guy. Look, Cam's played a lot of football, and he's a veteran guy. I understand all of that stuff. But I think you got to see it to believe it. And so I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I wouldn't be surprised either way. But I know one thing. This offensive line needs a boost, and it's not about where you are in week 5. It's about where you are going into the playoffs, hopefully.
Well, you got to make sure you're in a position to go to the playoffs.
Right? Well, and my point of that is that if you sacrifice a little bit of overall performance in the current moment to be able to be better off at the end of the road, then you go ahead and do it.
I hear you saying. Let's take a little poll here.
But this is a tough game to make an offensive line switch and have a guy coming in a little bit raw.
Okay, but I'm going to ask you guys a question.
I mean, Buffalo Bills pretty good.
They're very good.
Especially against that defensive front.
They're very good. But here's the question.
And Bond might be back, too.
Here's the question. In what scenario do you have more trust that you're going to have a better performance? Cam at left tackle, Walker at left guard, or Walker at left guard, and either Barch or Shatley at left guard. That's basically what you're deciding. So which combination do you have more confidence to roll out there?
We've seen the other one.
For me, nothing against Shatley or Barch. Shatley is a critical piece because he can play multiple positions. He's a swing guy. Love him. Long-time Jag. Great job. But if you're asking me, sight unseen, I think I would put more faith in Cam and Walker than Walker and either Barch or Shatley.
Well, I know one thing the offensive line needs, and I think this is what.
Well, answer the question. I want to know what's different.
I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go with Walker Little and Cam, but I want to see it.
So do I, by the way.
It is unfortunate that it has to happen right now. But I think down the stretch is what you're talking
make you
about.
better.
It is, yes.
But one thing that the offensive line needs right now needs a little attitude.
Yeah.
But a little physicality.
That's the one thing that is just missing. I mean, where's at the end of the play, you're cleaning a guy off the pile legally within the boundaries of the whistle.
I don't think that's allowed.
I'm saying legally within the bounds of the whistle, JP.
Okay.
It used to be the echo of the whistle. You could get away with it. Now you better hear the whistle.
Yes. And where's the feistiness at the end of the play? I mean, where's that? And I think that's something that's missing right now. And Cam's got a little bit of that attitude about him. He always has had a little bit of that. And one thing that he's very good at is run blocking.
Yeah.
Well, plenty ahead on that discussion. We'll get to the Jaguars' defense this week and their challenge against the quarterback, Josh Allen, for the Bills. We're on 1010XL, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube, from the Pavilion Inn Pub in central London, 23 Watling Street. We're down in the basement with all the Jaguars fans tonight. Glad y'all are here. The roar of the Jaguars here. Packed house. It's our final show from the pub this week. And we've got plenty ahead. It's Jaguars Happy Hour brought to you by the St. Johns River Water Management District. Florida's water, it's worth saving, and it's Jaguars Happy Hour.
Yeah, they do a great job of subbing, pretty much kind of hockey subbing their defensive line, where it's the whole 2 unit comes in, the 1 unit gets a break, they're rolling guys in and out, and they've got a lot of really good players, be it defensive tackle or defensive end. It's certainly something you try to plan against. Maybe you have times where you want to change the tempo just to keep a certain group on the field or keep a certain group off the field. So there's certainly different ways you want to attack them when teams are doing something like that as you go.
That is Press Taylor, Jaguars offensive coordinator today at Hanbury Manor, just north of London. And welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour from the Pavilion Inn Pub, Watling Street, Central London, in the shadow of St. Paul's Cathedral. And a packed house here in the basement with Jaguars fans all over the place tonight. Glad you all made it. The roar of the Jaguars here as well. It's been a busy day already here at the Pavilion. And by the way, Tony Boselli, Jeff Lageman,
Yes.
Asher Grodman with me as well. The Cricket World Cup's going on. I guess
Yes.
England lost apparently
Oh.
to New Zealand today. I don't know the scoring.
terrible.
They tried to explain it to me earlier on staff. I think they lost.
Do you even understand cricket?
No.
It's like a 5-day journey that I don't understand.
I have
how,
no clue.
No, they're 5-day matches.
Come on. The test matches. Yeah.
It's like 5 days, and at the end of 5 days, you can have no winner.
So what do they do? Do they televise it for 5 days?
I don't know.
I don't
Jeff.
know.
I don't
However,
understand
all
it.
I know is I was told England lost. Asher, do you know anything
I
about
know
this?
nothing, but I know that the lovely Rose McIver is on my show, is from New Zealand, so she's thrilled right now.
Is she a cricket fan?
I have no idea, but she loves her country.
Oh.
Yeah, well, I'm sure she's into that for sure.
Does the U.S. have a cricket team that competes?
Probably
Tony, I don't think I would bring that up.
Yeah, probably.
I have a hunch that the answer is no.
They probably have one. It probably does not compete.
It's
is my
probably like
guess.
the Jamaican bobsled team.
Yeah, right, exactly.
That's
right.
not very nice.
Good point. Hey, Europa League tonight as well. West Ham against SC Freiburg, and that'll be apparently a lot of people upstairs at around 5:45 London time tonight. You're gonna start hearing some chants and noises. That's what I have been told.
It's great.
So, Jaguars Bills coming up. We just heard from the offensive coordinator there. We're on Jaguars.com, 1010XL, and Jaguars YouTube for Jaguars Happy Hour. All right, the performance of the offense as a whole last week. Touchdown, a couple of field goals. They were kind of chipping the ball down the field, just moving the chains sometimes. The heavy load to Ingram and Kirk. They really fed those two guys. They had a couple balls to Ridley. But outside of that, overall, they didn't get the run game going much, Tony. You're shaking your head. It seems like I'm getting – the more I build this up, the more frustrated I can see you getting.
It's not frustration. It's just the reality. We're not a very good offense right now. I don't think we run the ball consistently. I thought we were no good in the run game last week, and I put that on the offensive line because I'm watching the tape. Jeff, you tell me if you disagree.
Nope, you're right.
I don't think Travis or Tank missed anything. I thought Trevor played fine. I thought he played good last week.
He managed it, right?
No.
What would you say?
think more than that.
No, he made plays like, listen, let's call it
got a negative connotation.
Let me call it what it is, JP.
I mean, that touchdown is an amazing play by
Avoid
Trevor.
the blitz.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
all that.
God.
Right.
It's not
Thank
just
you,
a
Asher.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I am the
Don't make
football
those plays,
expert here.
JP.
Okay, fair
Maybe
enough.
Asher should be leading the show, not.
Go right ahead.
I came
I'll
here
take
to
the
defend you, JP. Don't worry. Don't let him talk to you like that.
But I mean, that play you just talked about, that's a sack for 90% of the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And by the way, you get sacked there, it's a different game. That's a huge play. The problem is they're not consistent. They're not good on third down. They better improve that because if they don't stay on the field, it could get ugly Sunday.
Let's not forget about the 22-yard scramble that he had earlier in the drive.
Another one.
Or the 4th and 1
yeah.
throw to Christian Kirk that was just, a dart.
Right. And so I thought Trevor played well. Now,
Oh, wow.
What's coming?
This? What is
What's
this?
coming next?
to me, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of I'm trying to figure out the passing game. And maybe it's because they just ran the ball so poorly. There was no really rhythm or sync.
This is
But
a
there's
pass-first offense.
But there's
though.
not a lot of guys. I mean, it didn't look like a lot of easy. And everything's so horizontal, which I understand why. They want to get the ball out of Trevor's hands because I don't think they fully trust that offensive line. I don't think that's going to work against a Buffalo Bills defense who is very fast. And I don't think you're going to be able to just kind of chunk, dink and dunk your way down the field. They have to take shots. They need splash plays if they're going to score points against this Buffalo Bill defense.
Are you guys a believer in Ridley?
Yes.
Poll
but
here.
The poll.
There is there's a lot of pressure there. And I think it just takes a second to acclimate to the role that he wants to and can play, but it just takes a second. I do think what we have that most teams don't have is you have so many weapons. So you don't need a guy to come out and be the number one every single week. I mean, the fact that Zay's coming back, I think, is huge. Because how many teams can actually cover 3 quality wide receivers and a tight end and 2 running backs who can come out of the backfield? I mean, spreading this ball around, I think, is the key.
All right. Bo, are you a believer in Calvin Ridley yet?
In what sense? Do I think Calvin Ridley's a good receiver? Yes. Do I think he's at a point where he is the number one guy that if it's one-on-one that you just go to no matter what? I haven't seen that yet. Do I think he's a good player? Absolutely.
Because you got those things have to get proven.
They have to.
I mean, before you get anointed the number one and the go-to guy, the next Justin Jefferson in Jacksonville.
I have a question.
He's got to earn it.
Please don't. I mean, you're not comparing him to Justin Jefferson.
No, that guy's the best in the league.
Yeah.
Hands down, not even close.
Well, I mean, I'll say that. Here's a good example. And I think Calvin Ridley is a very important piece of the puzzle in this offense. And I think he's a very good player. But I'll go back to training camp where our local media, who I love, basically anointed him as the best receiver in this franchise, compared him to Jimmy Smith and everything else. And I'll tell you this, as a guy who played with Jimmy Smith.
Tap the brakes.
Who was in that huddle and understood what we were trying to do as a game plan. If Jimmy Smith was one-on-one and had single high safety, I don't care what was called, we were going there because there wasn't anyone in the league who could cover. And basically it was Mark saying, hey guys, just give me enough time to go get it to Jimmy. And that, to me, that's Justin Jefferson. That's, the top guys who just, when they're one-on-one, which you don't get a lot of those opportunities because defenses know you can't cover them. I don't think that's what Calvin Ridley is today. Now, the guy's been out of football for 2 years.
Yeah, give him a little time.
So you got to be patient.
Right?
We got to be patient. I'm not saying he can't become that because there were times when he was in Atlanta, that's who he was. When Julio got hurt and he had to step in, he was the number one guy, and he played that way. So I think it's in there. We just haven't seen it yet in the first 4 games.
When did you know, or what was the sign? Because in the beginning it was Keenan and then Jimmy surpassed him. What was the sign that,
when you turn on the tape and nobody could cover him?
Okay. Right.
Well, just like with Jimmy, we thought Jimmy
in the end zone with the football.
No, we thought Jimmy had some talent because when he was on special teams, he played him really well.
Yeah.
But his role on offense and how dominant he was, you didn't know that until he actually did it. Yeah. And that's the same thing with Calvin Ridley. Sometimes you got to see it to believe it, and you just can't, expect it and wish it to happen. Things like that are earned, and I think the offense got a little awkward in the first couple of weeks because I felt like that they were trying to press the ball to Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
And last year they did such a wonderful job of finding the open guy, and I think it took a couple weeks for them to finally go back to that, and I think now it's going to be Calvin will get the ball when Calvin's open, and it's part of the natural progression, as it should be.
Well, and I'll say, if you're looking at the weapons on offense, the biggest mismatch we have this coming Sunday and every Sunday so far is Evan Ingram against whoever's trying to cover him in multiple ways. And so what we saw last week, and Jeff called it on the radio, the Falcons actually started rolling the corner to Evan. And so if they're going to play that way, and you are in a situation, now they're a nickel or dime or whatever because they're treating him as a wide receiver. And so if you have 3 wides and him as a tight end, you can get a light box or a favorable run. So that's an advantage that you have to take care of. Or
by running it.
Or if they roll out and they try to cover him with a safety or a linebacker, advantage Jacksonville. So Evan Ingram, and I think we've seen this, the number of catches. Now, they're shorter passes, crossers, everything else. I think we're going to see more and more if you get the matchups you want of Evan being probably the best matchup for us right now. But also that goes to the run game if you have that light box.
This week, just a quick thing here, it'll be real interesting to see how their approach is with Tre'Davious White having essentially, he's going to be on IR, he's not yet, with a torn Achilles, and now the Buffalo Bills have a weak spot, and that's at the corner position. Will they stick with the plan that they may have had with Tre'Davious White, expecting him to be able to play? Or will they say, hey, look, there's a corner spot that is weakened and try to attack it?
We're at the Pavilion Inn Pub on Watling Street, Central London. We've got the sausage plate. You got a burger now, Logs?
I got a burger with some chips or French fries.
Well, you have two flavors of chips. You have sweet potato chips.
Yep, sweet potato fries, and then I got the regular fries, and then I got a big thing of mayo. I'm just going to slop all over this burger and crush it.
Yeah, and there's a big thing of ketchup there. I mean, what do they use on?
You guys might have to handle the next segment.
We might be able to do that, I think. Plenty ahead. We are just getting started on Jaguars Happy Hour from the Pavilion Inn Pub. We're in the basement. All the Jags fans are here tonight. The roar of the Jaguars here as well. Getting ready for Week 5 at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. North London, the Jaguars and the Bills coming up at 2:30 London time kickoff, 9:30 a.m. in Jacksonville. Jaguars Happy Hour is brought to you by the St. Johns River Water Management District. Florida's water, it's worth saving, and it's Jaguars Happy Hour. Welcome back. It is Jaguars Happy Hour on this Thursday, brought to you by the St. Johns River Water Management District. Florida's water, it's worth saving. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman, Tony Boselli, Asher Grodman from the Pavilion Inn Pub, Watling Street, London. We're in the basement. Cricket was on earlier. Soccer's coming up later. The Jaguars are coming up this Sunday.
It's actually not soccer over here. It's English football.
Well, they're playing in Germany tonight.
Well, it's still English football.
Yeah, well, West Ham is. The German side is not.
Well, it's international football.
That it is. It's Europa League tonight. That's coming up. So busy time here at the Pavilion. I didn't know you were such a soccer connoisseur. Football.
You know what?
Fulham was fun the other night.
I was never even into it until Shad bought Fulham.
Yeah.
That helps.
That's a good reason to get into it.
No, when Shad bought Fulham, I remember I went to a match.
Yeah.
And I went up to Newcastle when both Newcastle and Fulham were in the Champions?
Champions.
Yeah, Champions.
Yeah.
And it was fascinating. I'm like, this is really cool. And I started learning a little bit about what the heck's going on and basic rules.
I can understand soccer a whole lot better than cricket.
Oh, I couldn't even tell you what they do in cricket.
I mean, it's not even close.
Yeah.
Like, I understand the offsides and kind of what they're trying to do and crossing, passes, crossers and all that kind of stuff. I don't understand, like, the strategy of, like, how you set people up, line them up. But I really enjoyed it. We went to the Fulham game.
Yeah. Monday.
Fulham was not great on the pitch.
They got smoked by Chelsea.
Yeah, he's got the terminology and everything.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Saturday.
That was two quick scores in that match.
Yeah,
But it wasn't just
20
the two scores. It was the fact that we didn't have a shot on goal until like 5 minutes left in the match.
Yeah, they had like 3 true chances, but by then it was 2-0, and it could have been 5-0.
Oh, we got very fortunate, but hit a crossbar. But we play somebody we should.
Sheffield United is last on the table.
Yeah,
they're coming to Craven Cottage Saturday.
I'm going to go to that too.
Winnable match
in theory.
It's a match.
That's
what they're called, matches.
Not a game.
Yeah.
That's why they play the matches, though. We'll find out what happens at the Cottage this Saturday. Of course, this Sunday, the Jaguars and the Bills coming up at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We're on 1010XL, Jaguars.com, and Jaguars YouTube tonight for Jaguars Happy Hour. So this Jaguars defense has their hands full this week. They played well again last week, considering what the Falcons do. I mean, they got 4 sacks on Ritter. They got 3 takeaways, including 2 interceptions. They scored on defense. That's never a bad day at the office. Josh Allen stepped in with a 3-sack performance, his second 3-sack performance of the season. He's now tied for the league high with 6 sacks. Khalil Mack and T.J. Watt each have 6 sacks on the season also. But Allen is just one piece of what happened last week. How do they, Logs, carry that over to one of the top offenses in football?
Well, taking the ball away is paramount, and got to give a little credit because Darius Williams had a horrendous game against the Houston Texans at home. Okay, and I'm talking like terrible game. Gave up 2 big long plays, And he was playing pretty good prior to that game. This game, he bounced back in a big way. Great read that he made on the pick six, which I think was like 61 yards. That was impressive. He had another one that he dropped. A little disappointing. But what I love about him is that his level of play has been better than it was last year. And I thought last year his level was not good enough. And if this team is going to be able to slow down the Buffalo Bills, he's got to be on his game again.
Jeff, this is a different animal than what they've faced against any team.
Oh,
Like, let's just go through it.
even the Chiefs.
Yes, the Chiefs have no speed.
Right.
They have nobody who can run at wide receiver. The Texans do, when we saw what happened there.
Whew.
That young guy, Tank Dell,
Fly.
can fly.
The Colts have nobody who can run. The Falcons, Jeff called this out during the game, have nobody who can run. The Bills do. The Bills have weapons. And so this is a different animal. And I agree with you. I thought Darius played great last week. Taking nothing away from him. I mean, I'm sure he would like the 2 picks instead of the 1. And I'm sure that woke him up in the middle of the night of dropping the punt.
By the way, that was the first interception he's had
2021, right?
since 2020.
2020.
In November of 2020, which is amazing.
Yeah.
It's been that long for him.
But this is a different animal they're dealing with from the weapons outside and the guy who's delivering the ball, who's playing at an extremely high level.
Yeah, Josh Allen for the Bills, Asher, is right there at the top in the NFL. I mean, he's coming off a perfect passer rating last week, 158.3. The last time that happened was 2020. Tom Brady did that against the Lions with the Bucks. It's the last time it's happened in the league at all. So he's hitting his stride right now.
Whose side are you on?
I'm just stating the stats. That's it.
Yes.
That's all I do.
I'm partial to the guys that I got to work with on the schedule release, and I am very excited to see what Tyson does this weekend. I'm assuming against Stephon Diggs. That's going to be a matchup.
Yeah, but do you think they match Tyson against?
Well, they're probably going to do more of a zone thing,
Yeah, I
I guess.
think they
But I'm
have to.
assuming that there are going to be some moments of that matchup.
Well, there'll be
I
one
don't
of
think you're going to want.
I don't think they play much man at all.
No.
Really, not even on the outside.
I think they're going to play zone. First of all, that's what they have been doing best.
Yes.
And that's a tough matchup if you decide to play them man, because Diggs is
On the other
obviously
side.
a premier wide receiver, but then the guy on the other side,
Gabe Davis.
Davis is a big dude who runs pretty well too and plays big. And here's the thing: they play spread offense all the time, and their quarterback, Josh Allen, is number 1 in the league in completion percentage. And by the way, in the last 2 games, he has a rushing touchdown in each of them. So not only is he a threat, the highest completion percentage in the league, okay? And Diggs, 3 out of the 4 games they've played, he's been over 100 yards. Okay, but Josh Allen's a threat with his legs. I mean, this is a tall task for this defense, and they've got to play really well. Really well, but they need help. They need help this week.
Who needs help?
The defense?
The defense needs help.
How so?
Offense,
gotta score
possession,
points.
possessing the ball, and scoring points.
Third down conversion.
Yes.
You've got to convert third downs this week, guys. And you can't. At one point, I don't know where they ended up, but we were at 25% against the Falcons. Like, if you do that and you keep on giving Josh Allen opportunities, watch out.
But the other thing is taking advantage of the opportunities that you. I know this is the defensive segment. I get it. We're talking about defense, but it's.
All right, producer Asher. I mean, the schedule release has already been released.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
I mean, come on.
He did a great job of directing.
He was
that.
great.
And Riley and
However,
everything
Thank
else.
you very much.
However,
But when you get these turnovers, which hopefully will happen, you have to cash in on those. Even at home watching on television, which is usually where I am during the games, it's just deflating, and you can feel it. There's going to be an opportunity in this game. You have to take it.
yeah. This is takeover game. I mean, it's a takeaway game. I mean, the Buffalo Bills lead the league in takeaways. The Jaguars are 4th in takeaways, and that usually tells the tale in a lot of games. But with 2 of the top takeaway defenses in football, who gets more is a big question.
Well, and I think another big question is the safety for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, 2 veteran guys, Micah Hyde and
Jordan Poyer.
Poyer. Will Poyer play
Yeah, he's on the report
in this game? Because I mean, you're talking about both safeties combined. I think it's like 48 career interceptions.
They're good.
I mean, that's a staggering number. And for a young quarterback like Trevor Lawrence is, to be able to face veteran safeties like that, that's gonna, I think, gonna have to be a big thing for the Buffalo Bills to kind of overcome maybe the shortcoming of losing Tre'Davious White.
Well, I didn't see the injury report today.
Haven't either.
Is Von Miller? I mean, he's
limited.
He's practicing this
Practice, but it was limited.
I'd be surprised if they roll him out.
He
this
said.
week.
He said. Excuse me. He said that he felt that he was going to play.
And they're on the plane, right? They're getting on the plane today.
Thursday night. Yeah. So we'll see what happens when they arrive on the ground.
He said that earlier in the week. He said if I was a bet man, I'd expect Von to play.
Is that like third down pass rushing?
Oh, yeah, he's not going to play a full game, game one, but
they're tough enough as it is with Floyd and Rousseau and I mean
Ed Oliver inside,
Espinoza. I mean those guys are good. Oliver in the inside, and then Daquan Jones, who we watched him in Tennessee forever. Okay, the big defensive tackle that was in Tennessee. I mean, he's a big, strong dude that can rush the passer too. I mean, it's a good group.
And Jeff, and JP, and Asher, if you remember this, Leonard Floyd was a free agent this year, right?
Yes. One-year deal.
That everyone could go get.
Yes.
And he's playing pretty well.
Yes. Very well.
I'll just stop there.
What's your point?
What are you trying to say, Tony?
Say something?
I'm just trying to remember history.
Von Miller recruited him.
Yeah, that helps.
I mean, you got a little connection there. You know what I mean?
How much are they paying him?
Oh, I have no
Jeff,
idea.
on the top of your head, what do you think?
For Floyd, I mean, probably $10 million, anywhere 10 to 14 million on a one-year deal.
What are they paying him, Tony? You know?
I don't know.
Well,
I just know this.
Let's GTS it.
Sounds like you know.
I don't know. I just know he's playing well, and I know he was a free agent, and I know it's a one-year deal, and he's a veteran.
And he's got great hands.
Great hands, and he's pretty good at rushing the passer.
Got speed.
Yeah.
Not a big guy.
No.
You know,
Like more of like a 3-4 outside backer.
Yeah, like a true
3-4 outside backer.
Hypothetically, if someone were to have that situation.
If they were looking for that.
Yeah,
Then they could have. Yeah, but
you didn't Google.
Well, the phone's not working. We're in the basement. We're in England.
I got some issues.
I got issues.
I'm curious to know what he's getting paid. I mean, because with Press Taylor, when we ran the interview from him today earlier, he talked about them coming in waves like hockey.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a great analogy because I'm a huge hockey fan.
Are you?
From back in my.
When's the last time you watched a hockey?
I watch hockey all the time on TV.
Who's your favorite player right now?
I don't have a favorite player.
Okay, because you can't name one.
No, I love the game.
No, you can't name one.
Mark Messier.
Oh, wow. Throwback. Okay.
For the Rangers 100 years ago.
No, I know. My favorite in New York was Pierre Turgeon. He was an Islander. But I mean, I love hockey, and Press is dead on the money, and that they come in waves.
It was a good analogy.
It was a great analogy. I mean, they literally play everybody up front.
Tony, what have you found out? Tony has done some research. Our crack research staff has come through for Tony Boselli on the Leonard Floyd contract numbers. What do you have for
Very affordable.
1 year.
I said 10.
Yeah, it's not 10. It's not 9. It's not 8. 1 year, $7 million.
Wow.
And he's paying taxes on that, right?
Yeah, in New York. New York's got high taxes.
I mean, you pay taxes.
I do, yes.
Yeah.
New York.
Well, I mean, right now you're not because you're out of work.
That's right. I have very little to pay at the
Whenever
moment.
you get
but,
back.
That's a good point. But I don't. There's no place where you would go where you wouldn't have to pay taxes. I mean,
Except for Florida.
Oh,
yeah, that's right.
In Florida,
Jacksonville.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's just fine down there.
And
Yes.
great opportunity.
I don't know.
Well, it's a 1 year deal, maybe. We'll see.
Let's let it breathe. We'll think about it. We'll come back in a moment. We've got plenty ahead. The injury report not released yet officially today. We'll review yesterday's for both sides. And if you're looking for the MVP of the truck game, look no further than Ford F-150. Loaded with impressive capability and designed to dominate work, play, and everything in between. This truck makes tough look easy. Your local Ford dealer, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're at the Pavilion Inn Pub in central London, ahead of the Jaguars-Bills matchup this Sunday at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on 1010XL, Jaguars.com, and Jaguars YouTube. It's Jaguars Happy Hour, brought to you by the St. Johns River Water Management District. Florida's water, it's worth saving, and it's Jaguars Happy Hour. Welcome back at Jaguars Happy Hour, brought to you by the St. Johns River Water Management District. Florida's water, it's worth saving, from the Pavilion Inn Pub in London. We are in central London, and coming up this Sunday, it's week 5. The Jaguars and the Buffalo Bills. JP Shadrick, Tony Boselli, Jeff Lageman, Asher Grodman, and a big crowd of Jaguars fans here at the Pavilion Inn.
Great crowd. Let's go. Get it going here. Here we go. What a great crowd.
We had the roar of the Jaguars
Great
here
crowd.
earlier. Beer is flowing behind us, I think.
What do you mean behind us?
Oh, yeah. Oh, apparently in front of us.
Well, I'm just.
It's just for show?
It's a prop.
It's just for show. Okay. The sausage plate is here. How was the burger?
That is not a prop.
Burger good, Logs?
Burger was
gone.
really good.
Yeah.
But that Guinness beer is better.
Didn't last long, I'll say that. That's what
Usually
happens.
is, isn't it?
That's great.
Sometimes.
We need to have beers for our show every week, JP.
Yeah, but we don't do it in a pub every week.
I know, but we should.
I'm all for that.
I'm down
I
for
think we make a movement where we can.
I think if you started doing it in a pub in Jacksonville, I'd have to start watching it instead of listening to it. I want to see the deterioration as the show goes on.
I'd like to do it in a pub at Jack's Beach.
As the minutes tick away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do it. Sounds great.
Hey,
You got to pace yourself.
Injury report officially comes out a little later this evening in London. They put it out, I think, normal afternoon times in the East Coast. But we can go off yesterday's for the injury report, presented by Baptist Health and the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute, the official sports medicine provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We start with the Jaguars. We mentioned Zay Jones. Knee injury limited yesterday. Curious to see how he progresses as this week goes along. We talked about what he could mean to this Jaguars offense coming back to the attack this week. Parker Washington, knee issue, did not practice yesterday, unlikely this week. Antonio Johnson with a hamstring injury at the end of preseason has not played yet as a rookie safety. He was limited yesterday. That could be trending the right direction, and don't be surprised to see him get a number on Sunday at Spurs. Devin Lloyd didn't make the trip, of course. Jamal Agnew with a quad issue could be back this week, was limited yesterday. See how today went, and again tomorrow to get ready. Josh Allen's been battling through the shoulder issue. DeJuan Smoot's 21-day practice window coming off his Achilles injury last year is open now. So he has a 3-week window where he can be reinstated. See how that goes. He was confident today. I saw him in the hallway at Hanbury Manor. And still trying to be patient with it as well, not trying to overdo things coming off that Achilles.
Yeah, I think that's going to take some time.
And then Foley Fatukasi with a shoulder issue limited yesterday. He seems to be trending the right way, too.
Talking about Josh Allen made me think of something when you were talking about his shoulder. You never want a guy hurt. I actually think the shoulder injury, and I'm really looking forward to if he can get that all the way back healthy, but there's been a little blessing in disguise with that shoulder injury.
What is that, Tony?
It has forced him to only play right end. Because he wants his inside.
The right shoulder.
It's the right shoulder, so he needs to. And I think if you looked at the history of his time with the Jaguars, his best pass rushes is from the right end. I think he's a better pass rusher from the right end. And before the injury, they were playing Trayvon more at right end.
They were flipping him a lot.
They were flipping him a lot, but I think it was more Josh on the left.
I can just tell you that as a pass rusher, it's a lot easier. Former pass rusher. It was a lot easier.
I believe in you. If you want to help out there, we could use some help.
I could probably beat him, though. He's got bad shoulder.
Guaranteed. 100%. Because I wouldn't put my hands up. I just let you go.
It's harder to kind of be good at both sides at the same time.
Right.
I mean, it's no different than some guy trying to learn to play left tackle and right tackle in the same game. It's hard.
I did that in college, actually.
In the same game?
Yeah. My first 2 years at SC, we played strong and weak.
Right.
And so I was the open
side.
I was the open side tackle.
And the other guy was not as good. He had a tight end.
He was tight end. And so I was always on the open side. And so one play I'd left, next play I'd play right.
But that's
one
hard.
Play left.
It's still hard.
Oh,
it's harder.
You know what the funny thing is? After doing it, I never even thought anything of it.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's what you did.
Because you're a freak, that's why.
Well, I don't. Thank you. But I want to go back to Josh Allen. Forget about me and Jeff, because I think Jeff's point is dead on. Like, it's easier to be better at one or the other. In pass rushers, let's talk about Von Miller who's coming back.
Well,
if
before,
you watch
before
Von,
you do, explain why Josh would be better on the right side with a right shoulder injury.
Because you have to have a strong inside hand. You got to be able to press with your inside hand, and if you have no inside hand, you're dead. And so that's why.
That's the power arm.
That's the power arm.
And if you're a left-end rusher,
right, it's right.
the right arm.
Right. But let's talk about, there are like great pass rushers that are better on one side than the other. Von Miller, if you watch Von Miller in the history and all his sacks, the vast majority come from a left end. He is a better pass rusher at left end. Why? His spin move, which is one of his best moves, is more effective on the left side working inside. His one-arm press with his right hand, more effective on the left side. You get him on when he's a right end, not nearly as effective or dangerous. I think Josh is a better pass rusher from right end. And they need to keep him there because if you look, like a lot has been said, it's like, oh, some of the sacks he has, aren't, he got it because of a blitz or what. He's still getting them. He had a hustle sack in the first game. That's still a sack.
Couple of them, 2 of them.
Yeah, 2 hustle sacks. But here's the reality. If you look at his pass rushes against a very good, not a great, but a very good left tackle in Jake Matthews last week, his last strip sack was a great
rush.
Yes, great rush. And he had several rushes in that game where he squeezed the pocket, one-arm press with the inside hand. He had some really good rushes.
Well, he's got a big challenge this week with Deion Dawkins.
Very good player.
Really
Very good player. I actually went to the Combine the year he came out, and I loved him. And I remember, I'm not going to get who did, but I'm like, he's really good. And everyone else had
second-round pick.
Had him down the road, but that's a different story. Anyways, but Josh is, like, I think he has – there's something – I think he's going to get in a groove and get in a rhythm. If you keep him there, the right shoulder gets healthier and healthier.
He needs some help this week, though. Trayvon's got to – he's got to get going.
But, Jeff, I agree with you, but, like, it feels like the opposite between Trayvon and Josh right now. You see it in Josh. Now, is it as many times as you want in a game? Is he the disruptive, like, T.J. Watt player at this point? No. But you see it, and you're like, he's playing great against the run. He's physical. He's running. He's getting better and better pass rushes, I think because he's playing right end. And so, like, okay, like this is trending in the right direction. Like, this is good. I haven't seen that in Trayvon.
No.
I haven't seen the jump from year 1 to year 2. Yeah. Still a solid football player. Still very physically gifted and strong, plays the run well, but still nothing on the edge or dynamic in the pass game.
It's so hard because the Bills feel like that kind of team, like the Chiefs, where they're throwing and then they'll run the ball later.
Right.
And you wish you had, a way to put some pressure on the first part of their plan.
Well, Josh has done it once. He beat up Deion Dawkins in that game. You go back and watch that game, some of his best rushes were against Deion Dawkins.
He was on
both sides.
He
had a pick in that game,
I know,
too.
but Jeff, go back and watch. A lot of his great rushes were from right end. He's a better pass rusher from the right end.
No doubt.
And it was against Deion Dawkins, who's a very good tackle.
So, a couple minutes left in the program here on Jaguars Happy Hour. The Doug Peterson Show is coming up next. I caught up
with Doug coming?
No.
Oh.
His audio, sorry, I know. Oh. His audio is coming, though. I caught up with him today. You'll hear from Doug Peterson coming up. Just relax. Everybody get another pint. We'll be there. We got another hour.
Okay. If you insist.
I had to twist their arm. Twist their arm back there to do that. So then we'll hear from Doug Peterson coming up a little after the start of the show, coming up in the second hour of our program tonight. And then Jaguars All Access will be taped here as well. Jeff Lageman has a lot of work to do, as does Asher. Get some work in.
Well, I mean, he's
here to help.
First time he's worked in a long time.
That's right.
You better. Did you
get
stretch?
The rust off. Yeah, there's a process to getting back.
Well, this ought to help you get back into shape.
That's right.
Right?
This is my preseason.
Did you have to warm up your voice before you came on?
Well, I almost didn't make it because of an Uber snafu, and so my whole body was warm. I didn't know how
tonight,
on there.
Tonight, I'll be leaving a little bit early of the Doug.
Well, why wouldn't you?
Well, because I'm going. The Jaguars are now.
He's got a curtain.
The Jaguars.
Me on the West End.
I like that. Yeah.
The Jaguars are announcing the launch of the foundation here in the UK, so I'm going to go to that. I'm looking forward to that. So a lot of good stuff happening here.
A lot happening here. A lot happening this Sunday, of course. The Jaguars and the Bills. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, the site for Week 5, and the Jaguars' second visit to Spurs. They won the game back in 2021 against the Miami Dolphins on a field goal at the end. And a big test this week Of course, the Buffalo Bills 3-1, the Jaguars 2-2. That'll do it for our Jaguars Happy Hour program. Coming up next is Jaguars Radio Network coverage with the Doug Peterson Show. This has been Jaguars Happy Hour.